Hello everyone. Now we will explain of the poem My Last Touches. In the last video, we explained first 10 lines of the poem. So now we will discuss about the remaining lines of the poem of My Last Touches. So guys, come on the topic and let's start now. Pain. Strangers like you that contains the depths and patience of its earnest glance, but to myself they turned the curtains I have drawn for you, but and seemed as they would ask me if they durst. How such a glance came there, so not the first are you to turn and ask thus, sir, it was not her husband's presence only called the spots of joy into the Duchess's cheeks. In these lines, Robert Browning said that the Duke tells the envoy that he look on the Duchess's face in the portrait always roused the curiosity of visitors. They found they found something extraordinary in the passion conveyed by that look. The Duke admits that it was not merely his presence in the studio that was responsible for the flush of joy. It was perhaps occasioned by some casual remark from the painter. He might have said uh, that art could never reproduce the faint flush that half illuminated the Duchess's face. The painter might have said that the blush was so lovely and yet so fleeting that it was impossible to capture it on canvas. The Duchess had a nature so easily pleased that even such a casual remark, one of formal courtesy, merely could make her blush with happiness. The Duke said that the remarks such as made by the painter were merely expression of courtesy. The Duke accepts that his last Duchess had such an innocent, happy nature that it was easily pleased. Now we will explain next line of the poem. See, perhaps Farapandov chanced to say her mental lapse. Over my lady's wrist too much or faint, over my lady's wrist too much or faint, must never hope to reproduce the faint half flush that dies along her throat. Such stuff was she thoughts and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. She had a heart, how shall I say, to someone made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. In these lines, the Duke the Duke says that the Duchess was a simple nature. She was easily impressed and pleased. She treated all favors alike with a smile ready for everyone. The Duke is describing the nature of the Duchess. She was one who could be easily pleased. She found joy in everything around. Sorry, she found joy in everything around. Her smiling face was turned on all things. It never made any distinction between things or persons. Everything pleased her. The Duke, who couldn't appreciate such unselfish joy, here speaks of it with implied contempt. But Browning finds in the Duchess a nature after his own heart, one which fully appreciates all the pleasures that life had to offer. Now we come next. Sir, Sir, it was one my fever at her breast. The dropping of the daylight, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bow of cherry, some officious fool broke in the orchard for her. The wild mule she rode with round the terrace all, and each would draw from her alike the approving speech, or blush at least she thanked man, God, but thank somehow I know. I know not as if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody gifts who took to blame. In these lines, the Duke speaks an Italian. The Duke of Ferrara reveals how he hated he got his previous wife murdered. Here, the Duke is talking to the envoy of the count whose daughters he is going to marry. He shows to that envoy the painting of his previous wife as it is done on the wall. The poem shows us the inside of a typical Renaissance character typified by on Alscribus proud duke, talking to the envoy of a count whose daughter he wishes to marry. The duke shows him the portrait of his previous wife who is dead. He remarks on her nature instead of understanding her amiable nature. He says that she was a silly, childish woman who was readily impressed and pleaded. The Duke was annoyed with the Duchess because he didn't feel thankful to him for the honor as bestowed on her by marrying made her equally happy. She thanked both with equal warmth. The Duke failed to understand how she could equal his gifts with everybody gifts. The Duchess was grateful for the least kindness done to her, and when she thanked the people, the Duke, though he didn't get angry at that, didn't however feel happy. Being absolutely unaffected by such feelings of gratitude towards others, the Duke, un- the Duke naturally couldn't understand appreciate her attitude. Next line of the poem is that in speech to make you will she thanked she thanked man good she thanked man good but thanked somehow I know not how as if she ranked my gift of 900 years old name with anybody's gift food stood to blame. This sort of even had you skill in speech to make your work quite clear to such anyone and say just this or that in you discussed here you miss. The Duke didn't mind that she thanked people for. The Duke takes objection to the Duchess' way of treating him at par with other people, big and small. So she disgraced his royal name and lineage. The arrogant and careless Duke refused to point that the lady would have corrected her behavior so as not to annoy her husband. He tells the messenger that he doesn't know the art of polite conversation, and even if he know it, he would not have gone to the Duchess and pointed her faults to her. It would have a woman going down to wife. Next stanza of poem is that quite clear to such a one say just this or that new disgrace. In these lines,